there's a bar I go to quite a lot whenever I want to go out to drink with people. The guy's so chill. He's so nice. Just one dude runs it, plays smooth jazz, and it's just one dude. And then one time, this is where I felt like we bonded in a weird way. I was like, hey, can I borrow your charger? And he was like, of course, bro. He gave it to me, and I was like, it's a real one. It's a real one right there.
That's real friends let you borrow their chargers.
I'm coming back. I'm coming back, baby.
In Japan, because this is like I said, there's a weird thing about people like not wanting to let people use like electrical sockets or use like electricity of a business. I don't know.
It depends.
But
like,
they're just really chill about it.
Yeah, I feel most
of
of those like small bar places. They're
so
probably,
we're best friends now.
Yeah. I feel a lot of the small bar places they don't really care. But if it's like, you know, an establishment where it's like they're trying to make money, they're trying to make this business lucrative, then they're like, oh, I mean, you could borrow my charger and you know, put me up an extra 50 yen on my electricity bill, but you should probably order 3 cocktails first. It's like. Okay, that doesn't seem fair, but sure.
Bros just want to drink. They just don't want to be in the...
They just want you to order a drink, drink it, get the fuck out.
I think it's just asking for any request that's off the script of the Japanese menu, you know.
Sure.
And I guess that's just true for a lot of establishments in Japan where
a lot of them don't have menus.
Yeah.
A lot of bars are like, what do you want?
No, I mean like
bars are different.
Like
bars
asking for a request that's off like what they have listed in their mental checklist.
Yeah,
of
dude. If you went to a size area and you asked like, "Oh, can I borrow the charger?" The waitress would probably be shitting herself. Like, she's like, "This is not. I did not learn what to say in this situation."
You can literally see them like socially blue screen. Yeah, they're just like, oh.
Once you hear that, then you know this is blue screen.
Yeah. I kind of realized how much I'd forgotten. I'd like kind of like taken just like that kind of like little thing for granted until I go to a place outside of Japan. Like I remember in Australia, this was I think like last year when we were flying back or something and I'd stayed like a few extra days to stay with family. I had booked, so we were in Melbourne and I had booked a plane, not from Melbourne Airport, but I did not know the difference between Melbourne Airport and I think Avalon. Is that like the other? Is that the
in Melbourne?
Yeah, in Melbourne.
I know there's 2 airports in Melbourne.
Yeah, there's one main airport, and then there's one in the fuck ton like middle of nowhere, where you have to drive like 2 hours or some shit.
What?
Like,
it's a domestic airport.
Yeah, it's a domestic airport. I didn't know. I just chose an airport, right? And I didn't know that this was the shitty airport that basically only I think Jetstar or something like fly out of there. And so I didn't know that. And so what happens is I had like I had a SIM card, which was my British SIM card, so it could receive text, but the data was a little bit spotty, right?
Welcome to Australia.
Yeah, welcome to Australia. So I was in this fucking Uber, driving to this airport that was an hour out. We were like halfway there, right? And it was the only flight flying to Sydney that day. I don't know why. I thought there would be more flights flying to Sydney that day. And halfway to this airport, I get a text being like, your flight has been cancelled. And I'm like, fuck, what am I supposed to do? I'm like halfway to this airport. I don't have a flight there. I know there's not going to be any other flights there. So I've just got to go back to the city. So I like tell the Uber driver, hi, I know it's really bad, but can you turn around and drop us off back, back in Melbourne, and we'll figure it out there. And he's like, sure. All you need to do is just add in a new destination on the Uber app.
Yeah.
Problem is,
you got no data.
I got no data.
Yeah.
I can make and receive calls, but I got no data.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Like welcome to the 21st century. If you don't have internet, you are fucked.
Yep.
And I'm like, shit, what can I do? So I start fucking panicking because he's like, I cannot change the destination on my app. You have to be the one to change the destination. So I'm like, okay, let's look for a place that might have free Wi-Fi. Forgetting that outside of major cities, Australia,
there's no internet.
Australia is a barren wasteland that has no fucking internet.
No.
So I'm trying to look for like a rest stop or something, and we're driving for like another like 10 minutes. Thankfully, we see a convenience store. I think it was like a 7-Eleven. And I'm like, fuck. I'm hoping that Australia is kind of like Japan or America, where they have public Wi-Fi at every fucking convenience store, like public. No, they don't.
Or they do it in Japan?
They do it in Japan.
Really?
Yeah, they do in Japan.
Bro, I never used it.
In a lot of places. Well, you have data in Japan.
Yeah,
so
like
it's
every parking area has like free Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So we pull up to the 7-Eleven and I go up to the cashier. I'm like, mate, do you have like public Wi-Fi here? And he's like,
what's Wi-Fi?
yeah. And he's like, sorry, mate. Like we don't have Wi-Fi here. And I'm like, fuck. I'm in kind of a bind right now. And like I explained my situation. And he's like, oh, no worries. I'll start tethering on my phone. I got data here. And I'm like, fucking hell. I'd forgotten what this feeling was like, being like, hey.
You forgot that people are helpful.
Yeah,
sometimes.
I'm like, hey, I'm in a bind. I know how I have a strange request right now.
Yeah.
But do you have any public Wi-Fi? Because I'm kind of fucked if you don't. And he's like, don't worry, mate. I got you covered. And I'm like, shit. This has never happened to me in Japan, where I'm just in a bind and you have a request that's kind of like out of left field. Yeah. And people actually respond to that and will try to help you.
What if you just were fucking with them? He's like, hold on, I gotta like these tweets first. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So thank you, 7-Eleven person, random 7-Eleven person in Melbourne. You saved me literally like 2 hours of my life just for being able to do that.
Why didn't you go to the normal airport? There's like a flight to Sydney every like 2 minutes.
Because when I booked it, I didn't know that there were two airports.
Also, why did you not ask the Uber driver if you could borrow his tethering?
Yeah, I thought I thought that's where the story was going.
That would have been faster, right?
Yeah, I thought that's where the story was going.
There was a reason why he couldn't tether, and I can't remember why.
Because he was driving?
Maybe, but I did ask him because I'm like, I tried to go through every engineering route to solve this issue, and I can't remember the reason why he couldn't tether, but yeah, he couldn't.
Just didn't feel like it.
Maybe he was an asshole.
Like,
I don't know.
No, mate.
I want the full charge for me going to this airport and then going back.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, there was because like I think it's really normal for some reason that flights between Melbourne and Sydney get cancelled or delayed.
Well, if from regular Melbourne airport, there's like a flight that leaves every 30 minutes.
Yeah,
so even if it does get cancelled, it's not a big issue.
I mean, me and Kai were sitting in the like lounge waiting, and there was like 6 flights in the next like 3 hours.
Yeah.
And like half of them got cancelled.
Yeah.
And there's like no explanation why.
Yeah.
And so I think ours got pushed back and it made my transfer really tight. Made it from like an hour and a half to like 30 minutes. And I was like, I don't really feel like risking it. And there's a flight coming up in like 40 minutes. And I was like, well, I'll just go ask if I can go on that one. And I was like, hey, can I just go on this flight? And they were like, yeah. I was like, oh, really? They were like, yeah. I was like, oh, okay, cool, thanks. So I went on that flight. I literally just went up and I was like, hey, I got a tight connection. Can I just go on the one that's coming up in like 20 minutes? They were like, yeah.
That would never happen in Japan.
No, fuck no, it wouldn't happen in Japan.
Yeah.
Like, what did your ticket say? It says, fuck no.